Hey everybody, how's it going? It's Hyper Mario 24. Yes, I know, it's been a bit since my last video. I think it's been like 2 months, I want to say. But I apologize for the long wait for another video like this, guys. But we are here now, and we're just gonna make the most of it. So, this is the first episode of Hyper Talks. I've been waiting to get this series out for a long time, and I'm finally happy to get it out now for you guys. But I want to explain really quick before we get into this video of what this series is about. So this Hyper Talks series is mostly about me sharing my experiences with past games with you guys, and let you guys know what I think about them and whether I should recommend them to you. Now, these aren't like reviews or whatnot. I won't go super into detail with these games because I don't think I'd be great at reviewing games. I think I'd be a lot better talking about them. But like, I figured I'd just go through a game. I've shared my experiences with these games and just tell you guys like what I think about them. I will talk about a little bit of history about some of these games, maybe. But like I said, these aren't reviews. I'm not gonna go too detailed. I just want to share my experiences with these past games and recommend to you guys if you should get it or not. And I also want to note that these types of videos are not scripted, mostly because I figured if I do it unscripted, it would be able to get these videos a lot out quicker. And also, I kind of want to practice me just speaking straight from the heart and the mind, because I still have a hard time just constantly talking straight without a script. It's very, very hard, believe me. So I want to try and practice speaking from my mind and my heart. You know, it's just so I could get stuff like this, videos out to you quicker. And I know you guys like hearing me talk a lot for some reason, but I appreciate it regardless. So I figured we start off things simple with me talking about my favorite game of all time. You guys should know what it is if you've been with me for this long. It's Wario Land Shake It. That should come to no surprise. I loved this game for a long time, and I figured I should probably talk some things about it with you guys. Like I have mentioned this game a lot in some of my past videos, but I didn't really talk about the gameplay much. Mostly some music, some characters and stuff from it, but like not much of the gameplay or the levels or whatnot. So I want to try and go deep into that today, and like I hope you guys will enjoy it too. Again, I'm sorry for stuttering. This is hard, but I'm gonna do the best I can with these series of episodes, and I got more on the way too. I got some planned too, so I'm working on that as soon as this video gets out. So without further ado, guys, let's talk Wario Land Shake It.
Rock and roll!
Alright, so where to start with Wario Land Shake It? Well, you guys already know that it's my favorite game of all time. It did introduce me to, well, not introduce me, it did help me fall in love with the character that I'm completely obsessed with, if you couldn't tell by now. And like it just done some things that I wasn't expecting to come from a character like Wario that made me fall in love with him even more. But we'll get more into that. I figure I should probably talk about the story first. So the story of Wario Land Shake It, it's really not much of a story. There's not much to it at all. There's this evil pirate called the Shake King that has the legendary bottomless coin sack. And with that coin sack, he's able to shake it and just like get billions of money whenever he shakes out of it. Just billions and billions of coins. But then he also captures the residents of the Shake Dimension and their queen, Queen Merelda, I believe that's her name. And with this, he rules the land with an iron fist. But there's a Merfolk that hasn't gotten captured by him yet, called, I think it's just Merfolk. Yeah. I think it's just called Merfolk. But yeah, Merfolk asks the aid of Captain Syrup to see if she can help Merfolk free his citizens and, like, the queen. so hard. I keep stuttering. Oh, what a journey this is gonna be for the series. But yeah, like I was saying, Captain Syrup agrees to help Merfolk and finds this weird globe thing that she got from a random museum. We never learned what that museum's called, by the way. But then we shift to Wario, who is napping in his home, I want to say, or it's kind of like a garage. I'm not sure if he has a home or not, but he's sleeping in his garage. And then he suddenly gets a gift from Captain Syrup, saying that there's something inside, and she hopes he enjoys it. So Wario gets a hammer and is about to smash it open, but then the thing suddenly pops out smoke, and then a telescope suddenly manifests, and then Merfolk jumps out of the telescope, scaring Wario a bit, and then he about to beat the crud out of Merfolk, but then Merfolk then pleads with Wario to help him free his captive friends and their queen. But Wario, even though he tries, he really doesn't care much about Merfolk's plight until he starts mentioning treasure. And then that gets Wario's attention. So he then agrees to help Merfolk to free his friends and the queen just to get that treasure bag. It's very typical Wario story. Again, there's not much to it. I probably spent too long on it as is, with me stuttering and whatnot. But in the end, Wario does defeat the Shake King. He helps the princess. He gets the money, but then Captain Syrup, it turns out, was just using Wario to get to the treasure, and then Captain Syrup leaves with the treasure, because apparently her and Merfolk had a deal, so she took the treasure, and Wario just is left with nothing, and that, of course, that makes him furious. So yeah, that's it on the story. It's not much, but I really enjoy the animated scenes, even though there's not much, but it's still a joy to the eyes to this day. So with the story out of the way, let's get into the gameplay of Wario Land Shake It. Now, the gameplay is something that a lot of Wario fans kind of have mixed feelings upon. Mostly diehard dedicated Wario fans. I want to say, the game is definitely a lot more simpler than the past Wario Land games. The aesthetic is definitely a lot more simpler. As you can see, it's hand drawn. Everything in this game is hand drawn, and it looks flipping amazing. And Wario has also been animated too, and the story behind his animations is something else. For it's something, because I remember they had to draw Wario a lot of animations for him to work in this game. It was insane. But we'll get more into the animations later on in the video. So the gameplay, Wario plays, I want to say, relatively good. He plays extremely well. And he can do most things that he could in the past Wario Land games. He can shoulder bash, of course. He can butt stomp. He can grab enemies. He can, well, in this game specifically, he can also shake them too. And then once he shakes them, they either pop out some garlic or some money. And I kind of like the shaking too. I know most people don't really like the shaking, mostly because it involves motion controls, but the motion controls in this game didn't really bother me as much. I got used to it. I'm a very flexible dude, so I get used to it, as long as it's not too much of a handle to deal with. And it wasn't. It was completely fine. Even during those submarine levels that I know most people probably despise, but I actually enjoy these, believe it or not. But yeah, Wario controls like a dream. He moves well. He also sounds really good. He sounds like Wario, and I really like, I know it's not much, but I really like how in this game Wario has a lower tone compared to his other games. In the past, in Wario Land 4, his tone was a lot more loud and mean, I want to say. I mean, you have to play for yourself to understand what I'm talking about, but bottom line is, I didn't like Wario's voice that much in Wario Land 4. I don't hate it, don't get me wrong, it's just, I'm more of a fan of Wario's more low-tone, laid-back voice nowadays. Yeah, he sounds a lot loud and greedy like a lot of people probably like him as. But like for me nowadays, I like the lower tone Wario. He sounds a lot more cool and cool-headed, and like he just sounds a lot more epic with that low tone voice. It's hard to explain, but you have to play like some of like the sports games to get what I'm saying. Like, don't get me wrong, he still has those points where his voice can be like loud and rude, but like I just like the lower tone Wario because, you know, he sounds a lot more cooler. He goes like, yeah, in like Super Mario Party, and it's just like, let's go in some of his other games. Like, I like that voice of Wario a lot more than the past Wario games, where he was a lot more loud and, like I said, loud and mean and grumpy and whatnot. That's just me though. I know a lot of Wario fans will probably disagree on that, but again, that's just me. But anyways, back to Wario Land Shake It. This game was definitely a different tone than I was expecting compared to other past games, Wario games that I played. Well, honestly, I can't say that because I only played like Wario Land 4. Yeah, it's a lot different compared to Wario Land 4, but I kind of fell in love with it for some reason. I don't know why. I like the lighter tone. I like the aesthetics, especially since they were hand drawn, and the music, especially the music. The music, holy cow! It really helped and changed my sights on Wario as a character. And it's just like, why does he have a soundtrack like this? Like, I've been through this a lot in my past videos, but a character like Wario having a bombastic soundtrack, even some that are not like as energetic, but like calm and moody, like if you recommended, if you showed somebody the soundtrack and you made them listen to one of these tracks, they probably wouldn't think that music like this was from like Wario or such. They probably think it was probably from like Kirby or something, but no, these tracks are from Wario, and it's like, that's so bizarre to me that Wario has a soundtrack like this. But I loved it to death, and it's just like, I can't get enough of these tracks. Even to this day, they're still really good. Now, I know that like some people may not really agree with the tone that this game is going for. Again, I feel like some people wouldn't like this direction they took with Wario because it's a lot more light-toned and energetic and happy-go-lucky, I want to say. Because in Wario Land 4, yeah, we're getting into the chase sequence. We're getting into the the level sequences now where you have to run back to the stage, and that's still here in this game, by the way. But yeah, sorry for going all over the place too. But yeah, they brought that back for Wario Land Shake It, but it's a lot more toned down here, I want to say, and I feel like a lot of people don't really like that shift because in Wario Land 4, when you jumped on the frog's head, the tone would shift and it would get like dire, and the stage would get all shaky, telling you that you need to get the heck out of there, and the music would change too, and it would start to sound like a dire, like you really need to get a move on. But in Wario Land Shake It's case, the music changes depending on the stage, and it's nowhere near as dire than it is in Wario Land 4. Like I said, this soundtrack is bombastic, and it's just like, I get how some people wouldn't like how they changed the going back to the beginning of the level change, because like I said, the tone is a lot lighter here. And because of the bombastic music, it's kind of hard to get that sensation of I need to get the heck out of here when you're listening to like music that makes you want to dance, you know what I'm saying? Not like run back to the stage before you lose all your money and junk. And I get that. I get how some people may not like that tone that this game takes, but personally for me, I didn't care. I absolutely loved it, because not only is the music bombastic, but it also changes too. It changes, and some of the tracks, some of the stages do reuse some of the tracks, but most of them have completely different tracks, and they are awesome. I can't stress that enough. They sound so good that I honestly couldn't care if the stage, if it wasn't like dire music to get back or whatnot. I still felt pretty giddy that I had to head back to the stage as fast as possible. Again, I didn't feel that dire situation like you would in Wario Land 4, but again, it didn't matter to me because I was still having a blast running back through the stages, trying to get back to the finish, to the start of the level. And oh man, I feel like I'm going all over the place. I'm so sorry, guys. But like, yeah, it's just like this game was just, it was so good. I barely have any negatives about it. Now I do have negatives about it for sure, but like I'm still on the good stuff right now. We'll get to the negatives soon, but I also wanted to talk about the levels. Like the levels, also, they're a lot bigger than the past Wario Land games. I want to say, yeah, they're a lot bigger. They're more wider, and like it definitely emphasizes exploring a lot. Which, don't get me wrong, the past Wario Land games like did that sort of thing, but I felt like the past Wario games were a bit crunched. I don't know if that makes sense. Like, I don't know, Wario Land Shake It stages seem a lot bigger compared to the past Wario Land games. It's hard to say. I know I've seen some past levels of the past games I haven't played yet, and they all seemed relatively small, but that's probably because they were on like a handheld and not like a console. And yeah, I want to say, it can be a bit like, it could feel empty sometimes. Like the levels can feel a little bit empty, but like, it's not all bad. It's not all bad. I think some levels do have a lot in them to make up for that huge space that they have, and like, I think it's okay. I don't think it's bad design. I think the levels are structured really good, because they're still fun to blast through. They still have a lot of puzzles to them that most Wario Land games do have, which I like a lot. And like, I want to get into the enemies too. The enemies in this game are they're kind of meh. Well, I mean, I kind of like how they're designed. That they're not like bad looking enemies, but they're just kind of meh. They're kind of like Goombas, except a little worse, because these enemies in Shake It, they don't hurt you unless they have like forks on their head or something, and they're armored and decked out and shoot like cannonballs at you. But no, the enemies in Wario Land Shake It are not much of a threat at all. Like, they're more obstacles than threats. Because if you bump into an enemy and Shake It, well, it depends on some enemies. Like the walking little dudes with just heads and feet, they won't hurt you at all if you bump into them. They're more like obstacles and things Wario can pick up and, like, you know, chuck them at stuff. You know what I'm saying? Now, you can't do that with every enemy, but like, well, actually, I think you can do it with all the enemies. I've been playing this game a lot, and it's like I'm already forgetting stuff about it. But okay, I want to say you can do that with most enemies, but like, yeah, most of the enemies in this game, they're not really much of a threat. Now, some will pose like a little bit of an annoyance, mostly because if there can be more than one enemy on the screen, and some can like mess you up if you're trying to like get through those missions and such, which we'll get into later. But like, the enemies are just kind of meh. There's not much to them. Also, speaking of enemies, there is one enemy in this game that for some reason only appears in 2 levels of the game. 2 whole levels. It's this pirate dude with a sword and a yellow bandana. This guy only shows up in the beginning of the tutorials stage and on the 4th boss, and that's it. That he doesn't appear anywhere else in the game, just those 2 levels. And I'm wondering, why the heck was this guy here in the game in the first place? Why only limit him to those 2 levels? It's just so weird. I don't understand that. It's one of the inconsistencies about this game that I kind of have a little problem with, but we'll get into them in a bit. I'm almost done with the good stuff. So, back to the good stuff. I already said I love the music. I said I think the levels are really good. The enemies are kind of meh. And the bosses are pretty fun too. I especially like the first 2 bosses because he has some awesome soundtrack music with them. I can't suck. They have awesome music with them, and like the 3rd boss is good too. Don't really like the music much, but it's not bad. I'm trying to think. Oh, the 3rd boss. The 3rd boss I didn't really like too much. I mean, I like how you can like grab the pole and like jump on him with Wario, but the music didn't really hit me as good, unfortunately. And I think the same. No, it doesn't. The music's actually good against the chef boss. I like the chef boss a lot. A little confusing at first, but I got used to it. I really like this boss. And the final boss too. The final boss was great too, with one exception, which I will get into later. Okay. I talked about most of the good stuff. Now, let's get into the bad stuff about this game, because as much as I love this game, it's not perfect, and there are some inconsistencies with it. Like, for one, what about the enemies I was telling you about? That one enemy that was only in the tutorial stage and the boss level, I feel like they could have used that enemy a lot more, and it would have had more enemies than in the levels than just a couple I've seen. But you know, it's just a weird choice. I don't know why they did it like that. And the second problem I have with this game is that the music in, well, not the music per se, the music itself, but the soundtrack is fantastic, but it's more like the media room. That's one of the problems I have with it. The media room doesn't have all the songs in this game, and I will never understand why. Like, if I remember correctly, it's actually missing 2 tracks from the entire game, and they're all like running back to the level themes. And like I don't know if it's something that they oversaw or just forgot, but that was a weird thing that they just forgot. And it's just like, it sucks too, because 2 of those tracks are awesome. I think the one was in the tutorial stage, and the other was from Stone Tooth Cave, I want to say. And I think that's it. I think that's the only 2 songs they miss. Let me know in the comments if I'm wrong, but yeah, the media room was like, that was the one that kind of got to me. It was like, why aren't those 2 tracks there? Because those are great. And another thing is, well, this isn't really a problem for me per se. I still find it kind of lame a bit, and I know other people might find it lame too. But the treasures in this game don't really amount to anything. Like, if you get all the treasures, you can deck Wario's garage in like in a bunch with a lot of treasures of other stuff. Like, there's like a Wario statue on the left side of the corner, I want to say, and just a bunch of gold all around him. Like, you could deck out his garage and make it look a lot better. Like, that's a nice touch, but I kind of wish the treasures had a lot more to them. I mean, honestly, the past Wario Land games, the treasures didn't really do much, I think, in some games. I know Wario Land 4's case, they're mostly for story completion, if you want the best ending. But like, honestly, for the treasures, you don't really need to get them. They're just there if you want more out of the game. And that's what I kind of wish they were for. I wish they had more of what's the word for it? More of an importance to them. I mean, I don't get me wrong. I went out of my way to collect them because I'm just that much of a Wario fanatic, and how I love getting treasures. It does feel satisfying to get a treasure when you're fighting the secret place, but that's all there is to them, though. They're just collectibles, and it's like you can't really do much with them. It kind of sucks. And another problem I have with is the final boss itself. Not so much the fight. The fight's really good. It's just that final second phase of the boss is where things start to be a little lame. See, when you first see the boss, you know an epic battle is about to start, because it starts playing this epic music about Wario about to face off against the Shake King, and it's really epic too. I really like the first boss music of the first phase of the final boss music, and it's really good. It really is. It really sets the mood. However, when you get to the second phase, Wario, when you get to the second phase, Wario will start saying rock and roll, and then the Shake King starts to blacken the whole screen. And when Wario started saying rock and roll, I thought, oh man. When I first heard that, I thought, oh man, this is gonna be exciting. I can't wait to hear some epic rock and final boss music. But no, that doesn't happen. It's just atmospheric music that plays throughout the whole fight. I was like, what the heck, man? You had it during the first phase, and then you treat it with this atmospheric music? What the crud? That's so stupid. Like, you had it right there. Why did you put some epic rockin' music? Why atmospheric? It was just lame, man. That's the one thing I hated about that final boss. It just, it works, I guess, but it works. But I just really would have wished they put like a rockin' a theme to the final boss. With how good this soundtrack is, and that first phase too. That first phase is really good. I really like that music, and then we get this just flipping atmospheric music with not much to it at all. It's just like, that was just so lame, man. Especially when Wario said rock and roll. I said this before. He said rock and roll. Why not put rock and roll music during the second? I don't know. I'm gonna stop. It's just I hated that part, man. Other than that, the final boss fight was really good. I really did enjoy it. I died a couple of times to it, unfortunately. So it's a pretty challenging fight. Of course, it's not like Dark Souls hard, but you know, if you get the hang of it, you'll get through it in no time. But yeah, it also sucks that there's not much animation to this game. I mean, like the cutscenes wise, there's a ton of animation to this game, but other than that, I wish there was more animation to this game, like a lot more story. I know Wario games aren't known for their story, because it's mostly just Wario wants treasure. He's gonna go through a certain situation to get it, and that's it. It's basic Wario storytelling. But for this game, I kind of wish there was a lot more to it, because I like the cutscenes. They look really good, man, and it's just like, seeing Wario in this kind of style makes me want a Wario anime show. Like, seriously, I would love to see a show where Wario just goes treasure hunting, meeting a lot of funky characters, going through all this crud, and just like, yeah, I want to see more of this Wario. I love this style of Wario. Like, I want to see more of him, man. It's such a missed opportunity. We only get like 2 cutscenes of him doing stuff. It sucks. But yeah, man. Other than that, I think that's my only real complaints about this game. Of course, I wish there was a lot more to the shops and such, too. Like, you only buy maps, some CDs, and some heart potions and heart 1-ups, but that's mostly it. I kind of wish they had some costumes for Wario, but I figured that would probably take a lot more time to, like, draw some outfits with him. Like, they probably had to make like a whole bunch of new animations or such for Wario wearing different costumes or such. So I kind of get that, but still, I wish they'd done a lot more with Captain Syrup's shop. But yeah, other than that, despite those negatives, I still flipping love this game. Like, I did all the missions, I collected all the treasures, I got all the CDs, and I didn't regret a single second of it. Heck, I'm still going back to this game to like try to fill out the money bag as much as possible. I just love this game that much. Now, I don't play it as much as I do nowadays, but whenever I want some free time to myself and I want to play a Wario Land game, Wario Land Shake It, baby. That's my go-to game to release some stress. Now, here's a really tough question. Is this Wario Land game like the least what I'm trying to say is this Wario game like the weakest in the series? because I know that's probably a lot of you are probably thinking, is it the weakest in the series? And for that, I have to say, I can't really say, because I haven't played Wario Lands 1, 2, or 3 yet, or Virtual Boy Wario for that matter. I've only played Wario Land 4, so I can't really say if it's the weakest in the series for me personally, but I can understand how people can see this as the weakest point in the series, because honestly, another negative that I have with this game is that there's not many power-ups in this game. Yeah, Wario doesn't really have that many power-ups. The only power-ups I remember coming back so far is the Flaming Wario and like the Frozen Wario and Snowball Wario. But other than that, that's it. And I can see how that can be like a big like missed opportunity and like a big disappointment for longtime Wario fans. And yeah, I could sort of feel the same way too. I wish Wario had a lot more power-ups in this game, but again, I think the gameplay still made up for it. I still had fun, so I didn't really mind that there wasn't many power-ups. Of course there could have been more, but I was still content with the game. And like especially the motion controls too. I also forgot to mention there are some vehicle sections in this game that involve motion controls, and many people may not like this, but I find them harmless. Again, I didn't mind it, and the music really helped me through it, so it was fine. I always saw it as like a little challenge, you know. Let's see if I can adjust to this motion and see if I can get through this level, no problem. I'll complete all the missions, and I did. And this game is certainly possible to complete 100%. And I can't stress enough how much I still love this game, guys. Like it made me see a side of Wario that I never thought I would see. It changed my outlook on him, and the music definitely helped a ton with it. And the amount of dedication that went into this game cannot be understated. Like, they put their heart and soul to this game. It's not perfect. It is not a perfect game, but you can't deny just how much effort they put into this game, especially hand drawing everything in it. And Wario himself looks flipping fantastic, man. I love seeing this dude move. And another thing, it's just a minor thing, but if you stand still, he still has idle animations. He also has some animations when he's in hot areas and cold areas. Like, they didn't have to add that, but they did, and I loved them for it. It gives Wario a lot more personality in this game, and God, man, I just love this game so much. Like, again, this game's not perfect. It has problems, but you can't get me to hate it. You can't get me to hate this game. You'll never get me to hate this game. This game is just too much for me. It's just like, not too much, but this game means so much to me that I just can't hate this game. And it's completely fine if you think that this game is like the weakest in the series. There's definitely an argument for that, and I'll probably say my thoughts on which game I think is the weakest later on once I finally get to play all the Wario Land games myself. But regardless of whether it's the weakest or not, this will always be my #1 favorite game. No other game will compete. Seriously, this game made me fall in love with a character that I never thought I would have so much passion about. And with its music, the levels, the aesthetics, Wario himself, it's just so good to me, man. And I can't stress enough how much I love this game. And I just wish there was another Wario Land game right now, man. I do hope another Wario Land game comes back in this style, but if it doesn't, like, I just hope it has great music, similar to Wario Land Shake It at least. Heck, I'll take any Wario Adventure game any day. Seriously, we are long past due for one. And like, yeah, I would definitely recommend, if you haven't tried it yet, to try playing this game yourself, and let me know what you think of it, because and I recommend you get this game soon, especially on the Wii U console, because that eShop I hear is closing down soon, and I'm not sure how much Wario Land Shake It is online. I hope it's not too expensive, because on the Wii U eShop it's like $20, and I'm not sure if it's much cheaper online, but I could be wrong about that. But I don't know. I should be researching this stuff before doing this, but I wanted to get this video out now, so I hate make you guys wait because it has been 2 months. I wanted to do this video so long because my video making bone has been itching like crazy. I've just been working like mad, guys. Believe me, I have. But yeah. Overall, I love Wario Land Shake It, and I highly recommend, if you can, to give this game a shot. You may see something in it that might pique your interest, and if not, let me know, because everybody has different tastes, and it's just like no game is perfect, of course, but like this game to me will always have a special place in my heart for introducing me to one of the greatest characters ever made, and having a bombastic soundtrack that I will never get tired of. In fact, speaking of that soundtrack, I actually talked to the composer of the soundtrack, Tomata. Sorry if I said that wrong. I'm so sorry, but I actually wrote a comment on his one of his YouTube videos stating that I thanked him for making a soundtrack that made me fall in love with this character, and I hope he returns to make the next soundtrack for the next Wario Land game. And he responded saying, "Thank you, I am very happy." And man, when I saw that, I was like, dang. That is so cool, man. One of my favorite composers commented on my comment. I was like, that made me so happy. But yeah, guys, I hope you enjoyed the first episode of Hyper Talks. I know it went on a little bit longer than intended. Hang on, it's got a little dark. Nope. My light's not working. Hang on. So yeah, guys, I really hope you enjoyed the first episode of the Hyper Talks. I know I sounded like I was all over the place with this first episode, but you gotta start somewhere, right? And hopefully, the more I do this, the more I improve on my being consistent with talking and such. Because I definitely wanted to make the video like this series like this, so if I needed a video out for you guys, so I don't keep you waiting for long for content, then I could do this a lot quicker. And I'm gonna record a lot more games, so I can get more of these in production. So I won't have to keep you guys waiting for long. And hopefully I can make these videos not too super edited, but they're still entertaining for you guys, and keep you guys occupied until get the real media videos, like topic videos and whatnot. But yeah, I'm gonna stop talking, guys, before I sound more like a dipstick that doesn't know how to talk. So I hope you enjoyed the first episode of Hyper Talks, and more will come in the future. And in the future, by the way, one of these days I'm gonna have you guys. I'm gonna ask you guys on whether I'm gonna have you guys recommend me which games you may want me to talk about in the future, because it's not just gonna be just picking out a game and talking about it, but I also want to have you guys recommend me which games you want me to look at. I don't know if I'll look at every game. It depends, but we'll see. But yeah, if you definitely have a game you want me to talk about in the future, let me know in the comments, cause I want to talk. You guys may want me to look at a game that you think is underrated and make me want to talk about it and see what I think about it. But yeah, I've got more plans for the series on the way. I got more videos I'm going to be working on, so look out for those. But yeah, guys, yeah, I'm going to stop because I sound like a dipstick again. So until next time, guys, I hope you all have a fantastic rotten day, and I hope to see you all in the next video. So you guys stay safe out there, and as always, peace.